The Dream Fabric of Life by Paramahansa Yogananda. One's first concentration should be on union with God. Every day, as you go through various earthly experiences, mentally practice your oneness with God. If a pain comes along to disturb that consciousness, you should reason. Well, if I were asleep, I would not feel this pain. Why should I experience it now? All experiences are fleeting dreams. Practice overcoming all trials in this manner. The first state of concentration is to be able to see in your mind's eye anything that you wish for. For example, I can keep looking at this room and concentrating upon it until when I close my eyes, I can still see the room exactly as it is. That is the first step in deep concentration. But most people haven't the patience to practice it. I had the patience. As you continue to practice visualization, you will find that your thoughts become materialized. The cosmic law will so arrange it that whatsoever you are thinking of will be produced in reality. Suppose I am thinking of an apple and the apple appears in my hand. That would be a demonstration of the highest power of concentration. The great ones can materialize anything right in front of your gaze. As did Babaji when he materialized a palace at the time of Lahiri Mahasya's initiation in the Himalayas. That was an expression of the power of concentration in its highest form. Nothing worthwhile may be gained without effort and without concentration. Life should be a combination of both concentration on God and activity. If you lose your inner balance, that is just the time when you are vulnerable to worldly suffering. Don't disgrace the name of God within you. Awaken the innate fortitude of the mind by affirming, no matter what experiences come, I am always happy. My experiences cannot touch me. Dissociate yourself from your experience. Think of it. Of the 1500 million people who have died every 100 years, each one has played a definite part in this cosmic motion picture. In fact, each human being has played in addition a separate home movie of his own life, his private motion picture. If you were to multiply all the motion pictures' lives portrayed by those millions of beings, you would not be able to count them all. But this show has a purpose, that you learn how to play the various parts of your life movie without identifying your role with yourself. It is important to remember, whenever pain or anger or any kind of mental or physical suffering comes, to look upon them as would a spectator. Dissociate yourself from your experiences. Looking upon them as though they were happening to another person is the best way. Don't expect to attain peace and happiness from life experiences. This should be your attitude towards life. No matter what your experiences are, enjoy them. You have to find peace and happiness within yourself. Your outer experiences should be only fun. You cannot convert all experiences into miserable ones if you allow your mind to do so. You may have good health and not appreciate it at all. But if you become sick, then you will appreciate what it is like to have health. Show gratitude to God for what He bestows on you without waiting for reverses to make you grateful. You are a child immortal. You have come on earth to entertain and to be entertained. When I look back and compare, I find that life was much simpler at time we started our first hermitage in a little mud hut in India that we had rented for 1 rupee than it is now, when we have the responsibility to maintaining this large institution. Yet, I can preserve my mental balance no matter what trial comes. Learn to laugh at difficulties by remembering that you are immortal. Killed many times, I yet live. Born many times, I am yet changeless. Whether you are suffering in this life or smiling with opulence and power, your consciousness should remain unchanged throughout the varied experiences. If you have accomplished even-mindedness, nothing can hurt you. The lives of all great masters show that they have achieved this blessed state. In order to be able to say with realization that all things are in the mind, you must develop an inner consciousness of divine peace that remains unruffled by the experiences of this earth. Accept them as you would dreams, and the time will come when you will find that just by the power of your strong thought, whatever you think will materialize. This is difficult to do, but it can be done. A scientist must busy himself with going through several experiments in order to achieve one fact. But the spiritually developed man is able to perceive the fact without going through a physical process. If you first become one with God, then whatever you think may be materialized. That truth was demonstrated many times by Jesus. He had found his unity with God. Practice the consciousness of the world as a dream. Don't be sensitive about material things, nor let anybody hurt you. Keep your consciousness aloof. Give goodwill to all, but develop a state of consciousness wherein nobody can ruffle you. Try to make others happy every day. Share your wisdom with others. Do not permit yourself to lose interest in life. Learn everything about one thing and something about everything. Realize that the more you seek, the more you will find. The realms of thought are infinite. The moment you think you have attained everything, you have circumcised yourself. Search on and on, continuously, and in the valley of your humbleness, the ocean of God's wisdom will gather. The greatest thing you can do to cultivate true wisdom is to practice the consciousness of the world as a dream. If failure comes, say it's a dream. Then shut out the thought of failure from your mind. In the midst of negative conditions, practice opposition by thinking and acting in a positive, constructive way. Practice titiksha, which means not to give in to unpleasant experiences, but to resist them without becoming upset mentally. When sickness comes, you should follow hygienic laws of living without permitting your mind to be disturbed. Be unruffled in everything you do. If you try hard to cultivate the dream opposite to whatever trials you may be experiencing, you will be able to change a nightmarish experience into a beautiful experience. That freedom of mind will come when you realize that solids, liquids, and all form of matter are experiences of God's thought. The best way to find true freedom is to meditate deeply and to study the truths in the self-realization fellowship lessons. No one else can give you the taste of such sugar. You have to taste it yourself. Yesterday, as I was sitting in my room, looking back over my life, I found out everything in the outer world that had promised me great happiness had deceived me. But one thing has never deceived me, my inner peace. Indescribable billows of happiness surge over my soul. As I have passed through various experiences, that inner peace has been proof to me of the existence of God. As I was sitting in my room thinking this, I suddenly saw a great light. Everything else vanished. There was a feeling, that was all. My hand was not a hand, but a feeling. When I touched my hands together, there was no flesh there, only feeling. Suddenly I realized that I had become thoughts. Everything around me, the light and the room, and the weight of the body, all were nothing but thoughts. It was a delightful experience. All the sorrow and sadness that I had been feeling for things had passed gone, and I experienced a great sense of freedom. The consciousness of God, peace within is never ending. I find that it is the only real state of happiness. Everything else will fail you. Nothing else can make you happy. The joy of His presence is the experience that is real. Jai Guru.